request Toastmaster Preeti. A few prerequisites before we start. This is a level 5 speech. So timer, please note that 18 minutes to 22 minutes, but the timer card should be shown 20 green, 21 yellow, and 22 red, plus the 30 seconds. This is a story about human relationships. So each and every human being sitting here can have different perspectives of the same story. So I just want everyone to listen to this story carefully and understand how it applies to your life. Everyone has different perspectives, so understand how it applies to your life. Okay? These are the prerequisites that you should know. Nothing is perfect. Life is messy, relationships are complex, outcomes are uncertain, but people are irrational. It's said that our emotions govern the relationships that we are in. And most of the times, we always tend to fall for those emotions which are majorly on a negative side. Anger, regret, insecurity, jealousy, grudges, miscommunication, misunderstanding. We always talk about how Western relationships are. Western people, even though they have challenges and difficulties in their relationships, they are extremely vocal and open about their relationships. Here in India, it's different. Even though people manage to have successful relationships for a longer period of time, they are not as comfortable as they should be. Even in a developing modern country like India, people still follow the retrographical methods to connect and maintain relationships with people. For example, if a girl feels that she is mentally or physically disturbed in a marriage, the people around her encourage her to adjust, compromise, forget about her sufferings and move on, including her parents. Why? Separation is considered as a taboo concept. Loyalty is rare to find, and this holds good for each and every individual irrespective of their gender. We continue to compromise on our personal space, self-respect and integrity. Do you know why this happens? This happens because we look at a relationship with two or more people's personalities fused together. This is why every person can lose his or her individuality. Today, my dear Toastmasters, I am going to take all of you on a journey. A journey about 3 modern individuals stuck in a vortex of a retrographical relationship. It's the year 2015, the summer season, the scorching heat that spread across Mumbai. Mumbai, the city of dreams, the city that never stops, the city that never fails to amaze us. Among all this madness, there's a journalist girl being chased by a set of goons just outside the Victoria Terminus railway station. Cut to a man in a formal shirt, trousers and a photography kit enters the common waiting room of the VT railway station. There he sees a beautiful woman sitting in a dark yellow sari, in a very poised position, reading a book called Love Story by Eric Segal. He's shocked, stunned and surprised at the time when the woman takes the books off and reveals her face. The woman also is nervous because she's seeing this man standing in front of him. Both of them lock eyes. There's this awkward vibe that has been created. There's palpable tension that's happening. The man starts sweating. He's spellbound. There is absolute silence. The man decides to break the silence finally and calls that woman out as Avni. Why was there tension prevalent between them? Why was there nervousness? Was there something that has happened in the past among them or between them? The answer to all of these questions lie in the events that happened 15 years ago. It's the year 2000. The autumn has just begun in the city of Nainital, the city of lakes. And in this beautiful city of nature and hill station lies the topmost law college of India, the National Law school. Just as the college bell rang, all the students rushed out of their classes. A boy, of course without noticing, collides with a girl who has her hands full of books. Both of them fall down together, they look at each other, they smile, they help each other get up. The boy says, "Hi, I'm Nikhil Sharma." The girl reciprocates the gesture with a smile and says, "Hello, my name is Maya Singh." Nikhil and Maya grow fond of each other. They keep bumping into each other like it is some happy coincidence. Slowly and steadily, the feelings start to blossom, and finally, one day, they finally fall in love with each other. Now, Nikhil is a passionate photographer, but he is pursuing law because his parents and his grandfather are reputed lawyers. He has had a happy childhood, but he was pressurized by his parents to pursue law. During his first year, Nikhil lost his parents, unfortunately, to an accident. Now, he lives with his grandfather who support each other. Maya, on the other hand, she's a dreamer. She's an achiever. She's a bold, confident woman. Maya has been an orphan throughout her life, and she spent her childhood with enormous amount of difficulty. She knows the importance of her freedom and her individuality and her independence, and knows how to use it. Nikhil and Maya start liking each other more and more. They start planning a future together. Their relationship is at a very critical stage. One decision can change their whole lives. Just one day, when Maya recites a poem for Nikhil, she asks him, "Nikhil, what next?" And like any other typical guy, Nikhil replies, "What next?" He has no idea, but Maya is extremely focused. She mentions clearly that she wants to build her career first. That is her priority. On the other hand, Nikhil is a rich boy from a rich family. He wants to get settled down immediately. Differences arise between the couple because of this. They start understanding each other. They start compromising for each other. This goes on and on and on and on until it's the day for convocation. Nikhil still thinks that he can persuade Maya into settling down immediately. On the day of convocation, he is all dressed up, he's in a happy mood. He thinks that he'll receive his degree alongside his girlfriend. But he can't find Maya anywhere. He searches for the whole convocation hall, he runs around the campus, he asks her friends, only to face disappointment. He takes a breather and then realizes that there is one place that he hasn't looked for her, and that is the library. It is the place where usually the two lovebirds met and spent time with each other. There he goes, he finds a book, and in the book, he finds a letter. The letter reads, "Dear Nikhil, I know how hard this is for us, but we have different paths in life. I hope you can understand. I love you, but I've faced enough in my life. I want to make a good life out of this. I still believe if destiny is on our side, we will reunite one day. I'm sorry. Your dearest, Maya." Nikhil takes the letter, places right to his heart, and starts crying inconsolably. He somehow picks himself up, gathers himself, gets home, and confronts his Dadu. "Enough is enough, Dadu. I am fed up of doing law. I want to follow my passion. I want to become a photographer. I am fed up." His grandfather understands. His grandfather picks him up and listens to the whole story that has transpired. He then decides to send Nikhil out of Nainital so that he can move on and start a new life, which is what he does. 2 years have passed by. Nikhil has moved on. He's moved out of Nainital, and now he's a successful photographer. He's worked extremely hard to get there. One day, he gets a feeling that he should return to Nainital. After all, it's where he grew up. He will feel that sense of belonging over there. He goes there. He starts living with his grandfather. His grandfather one day asks him if he's now ready to settle down, and asks him if he's open for an arranged marriage. Nikhil, however reluctantly, says yes. They go to see a girl who is the daughter of a client of his grandfather's. They're all sitting in the hall, and when the girl enters the room, Nikhil is in awe of her beauty. her simplicity. Now that girl introduces herself as Avani. Now Avani is a girl that was brought up in a very conservative family. She puts others' needs first before her. But she is also proficient with household work and her career in IT. Nikhil is immediately impressed with her simplicity. Avani likes him as well. So with the mutual consent of both of them, the families decide to get them married. The wedding ceremony is grand. They celebrate the new relationship that has been born. The couple, however, feel that there are some communications issue between them. But they put the efforts. Slowly and steadily they start understanding each other and finally fall in love. Nikhil has found love again. They're living a happy, content life right now until one day Nikhil is famished and is in utter disbelief when he returns home. What he sees is Maya speaking to Avani in their living room. Maya understands that this is inappropriate to just barge in someone's life like this suddenly. Maya then quickly explains that she had been to his grandfather's, she is now a successful lawyer, and she has got to know that Nikhil is married and lives in a different house with his wife. Just as Avani goes in the kitchen to bring out the snacks, Nikhil asks her nervously, "Have you told anything about us to Avani?" Maya soothes him down by telling him that she's just told her about them being good college friends. Nikhil is relieved as he does not want Avani to know about his painful past with Maya. However, Avani, while returning from the kitchen, hears both of them whispering with each other. She doesn't know what is it, but she just keeps quiet about it. Maya meets the both of them, has snacks, and then says, leaving, "I will be in touch." Next day at Nikhil's studio, he receives an unknown letter having the location details of the cafe and the timings. He is confused. He decides to unravel this message about who has sent this letter. He goes there and he sees Maya waiting for him. Maya tells him, "Nikhil, I want your help. I want to come back to you." He is overwhelmed by her. He says, "Maya, I'm already married and I'm happily married to Avni. This is over between us." Maya still persuades him to at least maintain a friendship and help her. What transpires is, both Nikhil and Maya start meeting every day. Avni, on the other hand, has no idea that this is going on. On one fine Sunday, both of them decide to meet for a coffee. So what Nikhil does is, he lies about having some urgent work at his studio and instead goes to meet her. But as they say, coincidences are inevitable. Avni decides to go to the market and finish up all her work. So while returning, she sees Nikhil and Maya holding hands with each other sitting in that cafe. She doesn't know how to react. She is spellbound. She just gets home and starts thinking. When Nikhil gets back home, the phone starts to ring. As he picks up the phone, Avni grabs the phone and throws it away. She confronts him about his lies, asks him, "Why do you go to meet Maya?" And then finally Nikhil confesses to Avni about his past. Avni is heartbroken. She's shattered. She says, "Nikhil, how could you do this to me? We love each other. We have to trust each other on everything, and you've kept a big secret from me? I did not expect this from you. Do you still love her? Why do you go to meet to her? Is she still trying to get you back? Are you trying to cheat on me with her?" This triggers Nikhil. Both of them have a heated argument. But they do not realize that the phone was still on and it was not disconnected. And Maya was on the other side. Maya listens to everything that has been going on about their argument, about Avni accusing him of infidelity. Maya feels guilty about ruining a perfectly happy marriage. Suddenly Nikhil realizes and he picks up the phone. But Nikhil tells Maya to stop. But Maya says, "No, Nikhil, I'm sorry. I will go away from your life forever and I will never return. You be happy with your wife." Nikhil leaves everything and goes to stop Maya. Now Avni, who is witnessing everything, she really thinks that if Nikhil can go stop Maya instead of consoling me, he's definitely cheating on me. As Nikhil reaches her home, he finds a letter over there of Maya that says, "I'm sorry Nikhil, I'm going out of town on my bike and I will never return." Nikhil gets into his car, goes on the highway. After driving for some time, he spots Maya. She's speeding away on the highway. He speeds up. Maya spots him. Nikhil speeds up again. Maya speeds up again. 60, 80, 100, 120 and Maya has collided with a truck. Nikhil witnesses everything from his car. As soon as he goes there, he sees her bike shattered into pieces. There's blood everywhere. Her bones are broken. She's just lying there, looking at him. He goes to her. Maya, open your eyes. Maya, I'm here. I'm Nikhil. Somebody please help me. Somebody please help me. Ambulance, someone please. Call an ambulance. Maya, open your eyes. Her hands fall down. She stops breathing. Maya dies. She dies in the arms of a man she has loved her whole life. He starts to wake her up, but that is of no use. She's gone. Nikhil is in shock about what has happened. He tries to complete all the formalities and calls Avni, but she doesn't pick up. He goes home, only to see that Avni has left a letter for him, in a misunderstanding that he is cheating on Maya. He's cheating on Avni with Maya. Avni has left him. He tries to call his in-laws, but they refuse outright to tell him about her whereabouts. Nikhil feels unsuccessful as a man, as a human being, that he destroyed two women's lives. He decides to be alone for the rest of his life, to repent. Years pass by. Nikhil has grown wiser, older. He's living a simple life, about his photography, about his grandfather and him. It's the year 2015. Nikhil enters the common waiting room of the Victoria Terminus railway station, only to see a beautiful woman sitting over there in a dark yellow sari. As soon as he calls that woman out, "Avni, I've tried to find you all these years and you just disappeared." Avni gathers some courage, confronts him. She blatantly tells him or asks him, "Nikhil, how's Maya? Are you both happy together?" Nikhil then tells her that, "Avni, Nikhil, Maya died the day you left me." Avni starts shivering. And at that time, Nikhil actually reveals the real cause, the real reason why Maya had come all those years ago. He reveals that Maya was pregnant with a child and her boyfriend had left her to suffer. That is why she had come back to me, because I was the only family she had. But Avni, you misunderstood me. You thought that I was cheating on you with her. Avni is shattered. She starts crying inconsolably. She asks for forgiveness from Nikhil. He consoles her. Just as all of this drama gets over, a voice from behind comes up. "Avni, it's time. The train is on time. Where are you? Hurry up." That voice is revealed to be Avni's husband. Nikhil is unaffected by this. He is happy instead that Avni has moved on. She's leading a happy life. On the other hand, the reality is Avni was forced into a second marriage, and she then realizes that she still loves Nikhil. But it's too late now. Because of the decisions that she made, 2 lives were lost. Before she goes, she asks one last thing from Nikhil. She says, "Nikhil, I still love you, but it is completely unfair to me to you, my husband and Maya, if this happens. Because of me, I caused Maya's death. And I have to live with this for the rest of my life. One thing that I ask you is for your ijazat, your permission for me to lead the life the way I want and free me from the shackles of my guilt. Nikhil has tears in his eyes. He says to Maya, Maya, Avni, I want nothing but happiness for you. I happily give my ijazat, my permission to you to lead your life the way you want. He bids a final goodbye to Avni. Just as he comes outside, he spots a girl being chased by a set of goons. At that time, he freezes for a moment. The flashes from the rest of his life from the past start coming in front of him. Do you know who he sees in that girl? Maya. He imagines Maya running from her problems to achieve that freedom that she wanted. He suddenly goes in front of that girl. In the heat of the moment, the goons start firing and he's shot. Nikhil falls down. The girl who he saved takes him in her arms and she says, "Thank you." Nikhil has tears in his eyes. He says, "Maya, I'll finally reunite with you." And dies. My dear friends, nothing is perfect. Life is made up of innumerable particles like these welded together. And even if one particle is disturbed or damaged, the whole structure falls apart. This is how relationships should be. We must be extremely transparent. We must be extremely clear with whom we are making a relationship. That is how we learn to live life. Living your life rather than learning to live your life is the best way to do it. I want to leave all of you with a question that will make you ponder about your own feelings. A simple question. Who was wrong in this whole relationship? Was it Nikhil? Was it Maya? Or was it Avni? Back to your business.